that. And every Tuesday is Doggie Love Night at the Shed. I'm sure B-52 songs are played all the time at that time. You order a people item and you get a doggy item for free. I need to bring friends to order people items so I can get the doggy item for free. Unless they have tequila on the rocks, and that counts. All right. Number 10, she says Moss Beach Distillery. This is in Moss Beach, California, and has a full doggy menu with everything from kibble to a $16 skirt steak. Dang nabbit, those dogs. You can even give your dog a hot dog. Well, okay, that's great. It's like, after the $16 skirt steak for your dog, I don't care about the hot dog. If I'm going to go there, meh, you know. So, anyway, that's her favorite stuff. But I have my little hints and clues here. So go to, I got a couple of websites that I refer to that if I'm looking for a trip to go with my dogs, I go to bringfido.com. That's bring, B-R-I-N-G, Fido, F-I-D-O.com. And my favorite, because I live in Southern California, my favorite place to go for the dogs is the Brew House in Santa Barbara. It's on Montecito Street, 229 West. This is free advertising, Brew House. Okay, 229 West Montecito Street, Santa Barbara, California, because they do have tequila on the rocks. Thank you very much. And wine. And I have a picture of their menu on my Facebook page, That Dog Training Show with Tanya Yarbrough. And they had frozen marrow bones and hot dogs and, you know, all kinds of crazy stuff that was really cool. So, and they're like $3, $4 at the most for these items. It's really kind of, and they have this big dog-friendly patio. So, and it's right near the dog beach in Arroyo Parkway, Arroyo Seco dog beach in Santa Barbara. So it's just like 5 minutes away. So you get all wiped out on the beach, and then you go and have your brew with your crew, which might be four-legged, and you hang out outside and let them go crazy with some frozen bones. Another great place for a website to check things out is dogfriendly.com, and it'll give you all kinds of crazy things to do, like, you know, and it's just, these sites not just talk about restaurants, they talk about hotels and, you know, places you can do activities and events with them. So one of the places I found on dogfriendly.com is Fashion Island Mall in Newport Beach. It is an open-air mall, and many of the actual retailers, I mean, where you go shopping for dresses and shoes, ladies, will allow you to bring your dog in with you. So call ahead of time or ask the attendant at the front door to make sure they accept it, or they haven't changed their policy, because they have the right to do that. And then you can bring your dog in. There was complaints on some Yelp that they couldn't have dogs on the patios of the restaurants, but that was some years ago. It's now legal for them to do that, so you might be able to find some restaurants where you can hang out with your dog on the patio. So that's a great place to go to. I go to, or have been going to, Century City Mall, but it's right now under remodeling, extensive remodeling, which I still take advantage of. Because with all that construction noise and smell, it's perfect for training dogs against distractions. So, and there's less people there. So I have two dogs that have their own weird reactions to people, and I have all this construction noise and stuff to like help them get over their garbage about it. And so it's great for that. My favorite motel to go to, or hotel or accommodations, I say motel because, you know, I only got so much money, is Motel 6. It's inexpensive. It's an inexpensive way to go out and have a little field day and bring your dog, make sure they're crate trained, test their ability to, like, have you leave to go to the pool real quick or pick up a soda on the vending machine and come back and see if they freak out, and get them comfortable with the idea of not, you know, urinating and defecating within the walls of a hotel room. They may be great at your house, but terrible at any other four-walled roofed places. So that's another place where you can really check things out. Pet stores are awesome places to go just to allow your dog to kind of get distracted in a safe environment. Generally, people are paying attention to what their pets are doing in the situation. The pet stores are great for also sliding glass doors and the shopping carts and all that stuff that you have to get over, help them get over. Home Depots and Lowe's or other, sometimes a gardening store, nursery will allow dogs to come in. Just ask ahead of time. Some of the stores have had liability issues because there was a bite or something and they stopped allowing it. So make sure you check ahead of time before you just show up with your dog and then get all, persnickety about it when they say they don't allow dogs anymore. Boardwalk areas, they don't usually allow, at least in California, they don't usually allow dogs on the beaches for obvious reasons, but the boardwalks, oftentimes, they are allowed to walk the dogs along with the skateboards and all that stuff. So look for beach patio cafes where you can actually sit with your dog at a distance from the skateboards and the bicycles and the surf noise and the birds and all the people with the different clothing, the types of walking and different smells, etc. Short road trips are a really great idea to take on a regular basis, even if it's not to anything particular. Just going to a place where there's new smells or new places to feel comfortable with, to learn to eliminate. There's a lot of times that dogs, if they're uncomfortable in a new environment, they're afraid to pee and poop outside. They won't do it. They'll hold it. So you need to test your dog, make sure that they feel comfortable going where you ask them to go in a new environment. And it's also good to see how well your training is in terms of the heel and walking on leash, because they might be great in their home environment, but as soon as they go to a completely new environment, they just might lose it. Sometimes they get really kind of crazy and excited, and others get really fearful. So it's good to know this. Hiking is a great idea wherever you go. However, here's where people kind of get crazy with it. They can't wait to go hiking with their dog. They adopted a dog. They want to go hiking. And the first thing to do is go to some place where it's off-leash or primarily off-leash. And I think that's a really big mistake. It's a big gamble. Because what the dog needs to know if you're on leash, they know that you're in control of things, and to a certain extent you are in control, at least physical, if there's some kind of emergency or a freak out. You need to get your dog used to different hiking environments with all these off-leash dogs while they're on leash before you just set them free off leash. And you do need a really good recall. So I encourage people to go hiking with their dogs in different locations if there's parks and stuff to go to, but don't do it off leash until you really, really tested your dog in various environments where they really trust if you're going this direction, they'll follow you. So again, don't get crazy with it and ask too much too soon of your dog when you're trying to test out their, basically their confidence. Exposure to horses near equestrian areas is a really good idea, or horse trails. I don't want you walking right up to a horse. They need to see them from a distance. But if dogs are never experiencing horses and ducks and geese and all this stuff, then the one day you go to visit your friend over at their cool beach house, you might be kind of screwed. So get your dog used to those different things and different animals, and walking by petting zoos or whatever when they have them on for the holidays or something. Don't go in them, but just walk by them and get them used to those smells of the sheep and everything else. The more the merry. The more animals they get experience around with you teaching them to heel or stay, they're on leash and they're in your care, the better for your dog. So in general, as usual, I always put training in as involved in this thing. Adventures include training. That's just the way it is. But I have some tips. Whenever you're taking little road trips or little experiments, little excursions with your dog, always have a plan B. If your dog panics or there's a bad situation where you have, say for instance you went hiking and there's a lot of really rowdy people with uncontrolled dogs, be able to get out of there and go somewhere else without just ruining your day. 2, always check in with your dog's reactions or body language. And don't worry about if last week they did fine on this trail and this week they're kind of freaking out or acting out. You just got to go with the flow with where they're at right now and respond to it. If they're freaking out and it's too much for them, then back off and go to plan B, or back off by going further away from what is distracting them if you can figure it out. Respect the fact that your dog is where they are right in that spot, and then you will get better results from your dog, and they will trust you more when you go on these excursions. Use distance for safety. Don't make your dog go right up into the craziness of it all. Start off at a distance and kind of stop and stay, and again, watch their reactions. Give them positive reinforcement of some sort. Give them a job to do as well. Don't expect that if you stop in front of a distracting area that they know what to do with themselves. Don't just stop. Ask them to sit. Ask them to down. Ask them to stay. Tell them what they're supposed to do when they are distracted, and then reinforce that job. Okay? And be wary about, I need, like my two dogs, they need their own help with people and being around people and not freaking out in their own little ways. And the thing is that while people will, again, go too fast, too much for your dog. And when I say socialize and going to a place where lots of people are around, you cannot do this where you let people come up and talk to your dog and pet your dog and make noises at your dog. Get at a distance where they may not even notice that you have a dog there, and let your dog just absorb the ambiance first with a complete safety zone. So be really, if you want to work on this, like I got to take my two dogs separately because they keep feeding off each other's little fears. But I got to give them like a good 20 feet before they feel comfortable, before I get closer. Letting people pet my dog, that might be 2 years from now. You know what I'm saying? So I want you to just be really wary about overdoing it and now making it a negative situation for your dog. And they kind of get either more agitated or more fearful every time you go take them out on an adventure. Again, it's about building trust, building their confidence little by little, but you got to go do it. And I'll tell you what, it doesn't take long before my dogs are exhausted just from a little bit of brain work. I mean, I may only be in that environment for 10 minutes, and that's enough for them to be tired, and we just walk back home or drive back home. They're over. I'm good for the rest of the day. So I encourage you to go and find pet-friendly places and make yourself go out on field trips and take plans. Always have a plan B. Always be prepared for, exiting the situation and adjusting for how your dog's reacting to that day. And that's all I've got to tell you guys for this week. I got to make up some more stuff for you next week, which will be easy, okay? So like I say to you every week, or I try to say clearly, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. To love is to serve in the dog world. So give your dogs little ways in every day. Give them a reason to serve you, and in return, you will have served them well. See, I told you I would flub it up. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.